Alright, what's up everybody? We are back with another session of Bible study, and I kind of forgot where we actually left off at, so I'm going to check into that. I have my bookmark placed right here. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that everything in your lives is pretty good. As you guys can see, do you guys like my background? I went ahead and I made a flower board. And it took me like 3 hours to make, but it was worth it because I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, okay, so basically we left off when God basically had made a promise to Noah that he was never going to flood the earth again. Okay, even though God is well aware and he knows that as people, our heart is full of sin, like from youth into adulthood until death. So God made that covenant with Noah that he was never going to flood the earth again and kill every living thing on the earth. So if you guys are ready, let's get into it. Okay, so God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear and terror of you will be in every living creature on the earth, every bird of the sky, every creature that crawls on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. They are placed under your authority. Every creature that lives and moves will be food for you. As I gave the green plants, I have given you everything. However, you must not eat meat with its lifeblood in it, and I will require a penalty for your lifeblood. I will require it from any animal and from any human. If someone murders a fellow human, I will require that person's life." So, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in right there, because we have multiple things happening, okay? We have God basically saying, hey, if you kill someone, if you take somebody else's life, you're basically taking your own life. Okay, so God has made that clear. And then all of a sudden, now we're in this element of God saying, every living creature that crawls on the ground and all the fish of the sea are placed under our authority. So for them to be placed under our authority, God in the beginning of the Bible said that we were going to rule over them. So we rule over them, and now we have like an authority over basically their lives and animals and all that stuff. So that's quite interesting. And then God says every creature that lives and moves will be food for you, as I gave the green plants. So now in the beginning of the Bible, God had given us trees and plants and everything like that, and he didn't really make it clear that the animals was something that we could eat. But now it's clear that God is basically saying we're free to eat all the animals. But he says, however, you must not eat meat with its lifeblood in it. So I take that as God is saying you're not allowed to eat animals that still have blood inside of them. You know, if an animal is bleeding and you just rip it open and you eat it, that's not what his will is, you know. So basically he's saying don't eat any animals that have blood inside of the meat, because basically God, this is he calls it lifeblood, and so we all have blood inside of us, and I guess God is basically saying don't do that. So he's making a lot of commands at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out my highlighters, and I'm just gonna highlight some of this stuff because I think it's really important. And I also think it's important, like how he says the fear and terror of you will be in every living creature on the earth. So there's totally like a different vibe going on right now. Like God is not messing around. And I require a penalty for your lifeblood. Oh. And if someone murders a fellow human, I will require that person's life. So God is not playing about murder. You know, when Cain murdered Abel, his brother, God gave him mercy. But now it's like, okay, you take somebody else's life, your life will be for the taking. Okay, so we're heading into the table of the nations. Okay, so now we're going into the family records of, oh, so many names. I always get intimidated when I read this part because it's like so much and so many names and so many people to remember. But we're going to get through this, okay? Okay. The table of the nations. These are the family records of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They also had sons after the flood. Japheth's sons, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras, Gomer's sons. Okay, so you guys know what? I'm gonna skip over this. I'm gonna skip over this just because I was gonna read this part, but just because we start to go into a lot of other people and their sons after their sons, and I think it's gonna get kind of confusing. So we're just gonna move on. Okay, so we're gonna go to the Tower of Babylon. Hopefully, we didn't miss out anything important. If we did, we can always go back. Okay. So the whole earth, the Tower of Babylon, the whole earth had the same language and vocabulary. As people migrated from the east, they found a valley in the land of Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make oven-fired bricks." They used brick for stone and asphalt for mortar. And they said, "Come, let's build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the sky. Let's make a name for ourselves, otherwise we will be scattered throughout the earth." Then the Lord came down to look over the city and the tower that the humans were building. The Lord said, "If they had begun to do this as one people, all having the same language, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let's go down there and confuse their language so that they will not understand one another's speech." So from there the Lord scattered them throughout the earth, and they stopped building the city. Therefore it's called Babylon, for the Lord confused the language of the whole earth, and from there the Lord scattered them throughout the earth. So God was like, oh man, if they're going to sit here and build these cities and they're going to create all this stuff, what is it not that humans are, what can they not do? All of Abram, okay? So the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your land and your relatives. Go from your land, your relatives, and your father's house. Okay? To the land that I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. I will curse anyone who treats you with contempt, and all the people on the earth will be blessed through you." So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, all the possessions they had accumulated, and the people they had acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan. When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land to the site of Shechem, at the oak of Moreh, and at the top of the Canaanites were in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give you this land." So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. From there he moved on to the hill country east of Bethel and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the east and Ai on the east. Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. He built an altar to the Lord there, and he called on the name of the Lord. Then Abram journeyed by stages to the Negev. Okay. So God is basically calling over Abram's life, and Abram is listening to God. So I just want to go back for a minute, okay? I will eventually go back and end up going to the ancestors just to see the bloodline of them, just to make sure to have a little bit of idea of Abram's father and parents and stuff and like that, and where he came from. There was famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to stay there for a while because the famine in the land was severe. He was about to enter Egypt. He said to his wife Sarai, "Look, I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' They will kill me but let you live. Please say you're my sister, so it will go well for me because of you, and my life will be spared on your account." When Abram entered Egypt, the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. Pharaoh's officials saw her and praised her to the Pharaoh, and so the woman was taken to Pharaoh's household. He treated Abram well because of her. And Abram acquired flocks and herds, male and female, donkeys, male and female slaves, and camels. But the Lord struck Pharaoh and his household with severe plagues because of Abram's wife Sarai. Okay, but the Lord struck Pharaoh and his household with severe plagues because of Abram's wife Sarai. So Pharaoh, I think I'm saying his name, Pharaoh sent for Abram and said, "What have you done to me? Why did you tell me she's your wife? Why did you say she's my sister so that I took her as my wife? Now, here is your wife. Take her and go." Then Pharaoh gave his men orders about him, and they sent him away with his wife and all he had. So, why did God curse? Why was there severe plagues because of Abram's wife? Is it because I don't know. That's interesting. I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to have to come back to that because I need to figure out what reason would a plague start because is it because Abram lied? Is that why there was lots of plagues? Is that why God did that? I'm not quite sure. So I'll go back. Okay, so Abram and Lot separate. Abram went up from Egypt to the Negev, he, his wife, and all he had, and Lot with him. Abram was very rich in livestock, silver and gold. He went by stages from the Negev to Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had formerly been, to the site where he had built the altar, and Abram called on the name of the Lord there. Now Lot, who was traveling with Abram, also had flocks, herds, and tents, but the land was unable to support them as long as they stayed together, for they had so many possessions that they could not stay together, and there was a quarreling between herdsmen of Abraham's livestock and herdsmen of Lot's livestock. At the time the Canaanites and the Perizzites were living in the land. So Abram said to Lot, "Please, let's not have quarreling between you and me, or between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, since we are relatives. Isn't the whole land before you, separate from me? If you go to the left, I will go to the right. If you go to the right, I will go to the left." Lot looked out and saw that the entire plain of the Jordan, as far as Zoar, was well watered everywhere like the Lord's garden in the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose the entire plain of the Jordan for himself. Then Lot journeyed eastward, and they separated from each other. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, but Lot lived in the cities on the plain and set up his tent near Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were evil, sinning immensely against the Lord. After Lot had separated from him, the Lord said to Abram, "Look from the place where you are. Look north and south, east and west, for I will give you and your offspring forever all the land that you see. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust from the earth, then your offspring could be counted. Get up and walk around the land, through its length and width, for I will give it to you." So Abram moved his tent and went to live near the oaks of Mamre at Hebron, where he built an altar to the Lord. Okay, you guys, that's really good. Now we're starting to get into more of the actual Bible stories, getting to know the people of the Bible, so a little bit more in depth. We've passed the basics of, the beginning of Genesis with Adam and Eve, how life was created, and now we're really starting to settle into people that was actually in the Bible. So this is really exciting, and this is getting really good. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end Bible study right here. I really am thankful that I was able to have this moment with you guys. I hope that everything is well in your life. Remember to stay blessed and remember to pray. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.